Hello everyone, welcome to Resistant Front. I am Said. Today we're going to continue the process that we had in the previous part about Iran and US relationship. In the previous one, we mentioned about 1953 coup d'etat against Mossadegh and overthrowing the first elected government inside Iran after almost a century struggle against the monarchism. So let's start with 1979 revolution, shall we? So Shah was out, we were victorious, Islamic Republic was established, but it wasn't Islamic Republic at that time, it was just Islamic Revolution. So the first thing that happened, I think it was a couple of days after the revolution when things got a little bit calmed down. The first thing that we done was closing the embassy of Israel in Tehran. That embassy was given a couple of days after that to Palestinian authorities, and the first ambassador by Palestinian authorities came to Tehran a couple of weeks after that. So when Iranians were preoccupied with the revolution, there were a couple of things that were happening outside and inside Iran. We had a liberal government as a temporary government to governing the country, leading by Bazargan. And he was indeed a fine person, but unfortunately, because of the decision and too much leaning toward the West, uh, he didn't go much further after the revolution happened and truly established. So there was a mitigating in Iran. We try to create some sort of normalized relationship with the United States at first. People like Bazargan Yazdi, they tried their best to mitigate that, but unfortunately, United States and Shah regime had some friends inside the Congress and Senate. So one of the things that they done was lobbying inside the Senate to pass a bill against Iran. Iran executed some of the main officials that were involved with the killing of the people and a couple of heads of SAWAK, a notorious secret police. These guys were totally uh, their hands were totally full of blood of Iranians. So uh, they actually passed a bill against Iran, and Iran took that as an interference with internal affair of the revolution. And we wanted to stand strong and resilient toward United States because we didn't want anyone to think that Iran revolution is either from the east or the west. We wanted to stay firm and strong on our own beliefs and the reason Iran had the revolution in the first place. So things we wanted to accept the ambassador of United States to Tehran, but after that bill, that was totally closed. That door was closed, and it got even worse when United States, with the pressure that Kissinger, for example, Rockefeller, David Rockefeller, um, Brzezinski. These guys try to put some pressure on Carter. It was the Carter time. So they put some pressure on Carter, even though that some of the minister, even foreign minister Vance was against that, but they went with it, and Carter actually allowed the Shah inside. At that time, they were trying to be perpetrate themselves as a benevolent force. It's humanitarian right, human right to let them in. and they were trying to say, yeah, this is an old ally now that they are ousted. We should not look weak. We have a lot of allies all over the world. We should not look weak. That was the reason that they were giving Carter. But after a while, it turns out that it was more than just human right. Um, uh, Chase Manhattan. Chase Manhattan. I actually urge you to Google that. It was something. It was a banking system that a lot of Iranian assets was blocked in it. Um, and these guys had a stake. Uh, so what they wanted, these guys wanted it to actually these assets to be blocked there so they can profit out of it. And they were successful the moment that they allowed the Shah inside Iran, inside United States. Um, it was actually coincide with the Algerian negotiation with United States. Bazargan and Yazdi went and meet the Brzezinski, and they were trying to mitigate the situation in order to let the ambassador of United States come to embassy. Uh, Unfortunately, or fortunately, it depends on how you see it, with the allowance of Shah inside, everything was gone. The moment that that happened, we saw a betrayal by United States once again, and that's the trauma, the 1953 revolution and coup d'etat afterward happened in the psyche of Iranians the moment that they saw again United States might interfere and another coup d'etat happen, and this revolution and this republic actually overthrown once again by United States. They stormed the embassy. I was watching a couple of documentaries about this incident. The students were actually being interviewed. The students said we didn't want to actually go and take over the embassy forever. It was something we wanted to show it as a protest. We wanted to show the world it could explode in on news, and we could actually send the message that we hate United States and we don't want him to intervene with our business. And they should allow this psychopath, this dictator, to be put in judgment, and we need justice with all the people that he killed. He cannot just get away with it. So that happened. After that, we stormed the embassy, and what we saw, it was shocking for Iranians as well. We caught United States with their pants off. They were shredding the documents of CIA. We seized the embassy, and after a while, we started to giving out these documents, the shredded documents. After a while, we start putting them together and created 52 copy of books called Spy Nest Documents, and we start giving them out. It was indeed a huge achievement for Islamic Republic. So after the seizure of embassy, the temporary government simply resigned because they believed that we should have a good relationship, and they did it as a form of protest. Obviously, it didn't work. Another government was in place, and in 1979, a couple of months after Islamic Revolution, uh, we put a referendum out for Iranians to decide. After a couple of days of teaching what Islamic Republic is and what it stands for, a simple question was asked: do you agree with our country to be Islamic Republic or no? uh, 98% of people voted yes, and it was a huge vote of confidence for Islamic Republic to be formed. The first president that we had, Beni Sadr, I believe it was a couple of months after that, that we democratically elected our first president. He came to office United States. He actually was a left-leaning uh, president. He died, I believe it was in Paris or United States. I don't remember. So United States stopped all the diplomatic relationship with Iran with after the Bani Said was elected, and the relationship was cut totally. And in 1980, they invaded Iran with a special operation, Delta Force, with the help, some people say, with the help of Bani Sadr, came to the heart of Iran in Tabas in order to free the hostages by force. And some others said that they had more goal in their mind, and they wanted to probably assassinate Imam Khomeini in order to weaken the revolution, because he was indeed a pillar of our Islamic revolution. The operation was called Eagle Claws. It was a huge blow to the prestige of United States. That operation was a huge blow to the career of Carter as well. That failure, it was truly a damage to United States as much as it was a victory for Iran. Uh, Almost everything that could have go wrong, it went wrong in that operation. They failed, and I'm going to post and put on some of the footages of that incident. And the hand of God truly saved the revolution. The first Majlis in 1980, the first Majlis was actually elected, and the first mission that Imam Khomeini gave to the Majlis was that decide for the fate of these 52 hostages that we have from embassy. So that was the first mission that was bestowed upon our Majlis. Uh, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi died. Iran was a little bit more calm because we knew that the real contestant at that time was Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, the king. So when he died, we said, okay, let's normalize the relationship with one another. But unfortunately, a couple of months after his death, uh, Iraq invaded Iran, and we found out that United States is standing firm and strong. All the NATO is standing behind Saddam, and the green light was from United States as well. At that time, Soviet Union broke relationship with Saddam and allowed the invasion happen because Iran was an independent revolution, and we didn't pledge our loyalty and fidelity toward Uncle Soviet. The attack happened, and they couldn't. They were saying that after 3 days, the regime going to fall, and when they found out that it's not going to fall and everything stood firm, we found out that our president is actually cooperating with sabotaging the front of the war, with sabotaging. He was actually creating a lot of conflict inside Iran. So Majlis, with the green light of Imam Khomeini, uh, ousted him. It was an impeachment, and he was ousted as the first president for cooperating and betraying the country. Uh, After that, the lefties that were cooperating and they created a coalition with one another. When he got ousted, they went berserk, start killing people and terrorizing the whole country. So Rajai was our second president. He was a true man of revolution. Unfortunately, we lost him a couple of weeks after his election. He was killed by lefty terrorists. Um, so he went and with the United States they went for uh, an agreement, a negotiation. We were at war. United States election was close, and Carter once again came to Iran for negotiations. So Rajai went to Algeria, and they accepted all of our conditions. But Iran, Iran held some grudges against Carter government. We didn't see him as a reliable partner in this negotiation. So we didn't give the hostages uh, the way he wanted it. We hold them enough to he lose the competition and the election against Reagan. So Reagan came to office. We gave the hostages. He sold it as a huge victory for himself. And afterward, we got something around 50 tons of gold. Um, but a lot more should have been given. But unfortunately, United States didn't hold the side of their agreement, and for the first time, this was huge. For the first time, the signature of United States was under question by the revolution because they signed it. If you sign it, you have to comply with it. But they didn't. So it was that simple for them. They didn't they didn't hold any regard for their own signature. So our relationship just got worsened. Uh, they were giving the assets and the money of Iran government to everyone that went to an international court or even United States court, and they give our money, the people's money, to these dubious individuals. So the war continued until 1985. United States once again reached out to Iran and Iranian government, and behind the doors we start negotiating with them. They said, you guys need weapons, all of your weaponry, all of the equipment that you have, they all wore down, your ammunition are not enough, so you need us. We want money, you guys need weapons, let's do it. We started to make trade, and the first batch of weapons that came, it has a Star of David on it and Ebru all over it. So we sent them back. We said we don't want to do anything with Israel. After a couple of decades, we found out that United States actually didn't want to create any kind of inconvenience for Iran. They just simply didn't have logistical power to send all those weapons in time to Iran, and they told Israel that, guys, you guys send the old weaponry that you have to Iran, and we will replenish them after that with new ones. So but Israeli side sent those intentionally with the marks of David the Star and this and that. So they damaged Iran relationship and even this shadow trade that was happening between Iran and United States. So one of the things that here I would like to mention is that when Israel sent those weapons, they actually gave the information about those weapons to Saddam. So Saddam always, from the beginning of the war, wanted to create an Arab coalition against Iran. There were a couple of countries that disagree with this, but after this comes out, and it was a huge blow to Iranian reputation, because Iran, from the beginning of the Islamic Republic, showed itself as a supporter of Palestinian struggle. Uh, so we actually put that aside because we were at war. We didn't have luxury to uh, actually totally demolish the whole trade. So we got the weapons. We gave the money to Americans. It was 1987 that a Lebanese newspaper actually broke the news that Iran and United States are trading, and it looks like United States didn't have any allowance from the Senate, and they were giving the money that they took from us to Contras. Contras were a terrorist group operating inside Nicaragua against the government, a communist and socialist government at that time. So this was a huge blow in Iran as well, because Iranians had a lot of sentimental rhetoric toward America, and none of us liked United States. This was a blow for Iran and United States. Reagan was lynched for doing this, and in Iran, a lot of people questioned this decision, but we needed those weapons. So let's move on. Contra affairs was done, and after that, it came tanker war. Tanker war would begun in the first year of the war. We targeted all the facility and equipment of Iraq, and the rest was blocked by Syria. The only place that they had revenue from, it was Kirkuk and northern parts in Kurdish province. So they started targeting our tankers, but they were not as successful as we were. But in 1987, that was the peak of tanker war, simply because United States, alongside France, gave Saddam some weapons that could target tankers with more accuracy. Exo 3 missile, anti-ship missile, and Mirage 2000. These were the peak of technology at that time. So when Iran saw that we can't export, we simply said, okay, if we can't export, no one else can. So we started to targeting every tanker on the Persian Gulf and Sea of Oman. We didn't spare anyone, to simply create a deterrence toward Americans giving these weapons to Iraq. So United States came to Persian Gulf with a lot of equipment and a huge apparatus for propaganda to create some sort of deterrence against Iran. They brought out a Britain ship called Bridgeton, and it was carrying the Kuwaiti oil. Uh, it was like some sort of parade, okay? And the moment in the peak of climax of Americans that our power and we can create safety and security in Persian Gulf and Iranians can't do anything, Bridgeton just got blown up by a mine, just got blown up. In front of the audience, in front of I think it was CNN that is recording it. It was a huge blow to American prestige. So they actually made a shield out of Bridgeton, the one that they tried to protect, and they crossed the whole Persian Gulf while Bridgeton act as a shield for American navies. For Iranians, it was a huge victory. Afterward, Iran repeatedly done the same until United States decided that, okay, guys, we are losing this, and people are laughing at us. If this continues, we're going to just be humiliated. So they went hard and they went strong because they wanted to look tough. They went against our oil rigs. They start targeting those. Two of our oil rigs were targeted, and Iranians retaliated with targeting some of American Navy, and there were a couple of choppers that were roaming around for scouting. We took them down by this Stinger missile. So it was a couple of American died. Things got really heat up. So that situation continued until Imam Khomeini, after 8 bloody years of conflict between us and Iraq, uh, announced that we will accept a 598 resolution by United Nations. It was a really hard choice for Imam Khomeini as well, because Iran halt the enemy and could manage to push the enemy back, and not only back, to capture some of their territory as well. Uh, but there was no plain sight to a victory, an absolute victory. So the more we could we and the deterrence was established, at least we thought it were. But the moment that we accepted by the pressure of United States, because that truly damaged Iranian revenue, because all of our oil rigs and most of our capability to send the oil and export the oil was diminished. We had to go and do something about it. So we accepted it. But the moment we accepted it, the Mujahideen Khalq MEK, alongside the rest of Iraqi forces, invaded Iran once again, and we actually pushed them back to become in stalemate once more. But that's how it is. That's the work of United States and UN. Always turns out to be something that it's not in the benefit of anyone that doesn't oppress and have the absolute power in that regard. Uh, I can definitely say that Iran victory was only uh, by the goals that established for itself. uh, Iraq wanted to take over Iran for 3 days. After that, said, "Okay, we're going to just take the Khuzestan province." They failed that as well. They said, "Okay, we're going to hold everything that we captured by now along from the other side of Arvan route." They couldn't do that as well. Then we pushed inside. We went inside. It was so close to Basra that United States intervened in Persian Gulf on behalf of Saddam to push Iran to accept the resolution by UN. Because if Basra would have fallen, the whole country would follow suit, because Basra is the only place that Iraq could able to bring in everything it needs. The only port that they have to a free sea is the port of Basra, and if the city of Basra uh, was no longer, everything in Iraqi side would even be harder, and probably the victorious side would be us. But United States didn't want that either. Just like they didn't want Iran to win, they didn't want Saddam to win. It was that time uh, that Iran and United States relationship uh, truly turned to a hot war for the first time. And I'm looking back to Iranian history. I'm looking back, and I think with myself that what would I do if I was in that position? What um I would do if I had the power to do something. First of all, a relationship between two countries are like a relationship between two people. It's not that more complicated. The benefits should be something that both sides enjoy it's a win-win relationship. If you call that negotiation and relationship, not capitulation, not oppression. If you truly want a relationship, it needs to be at equal terms. From the first encounter of Iran and United States, the relationship started like this. This didn't work for Iranians. After a century humiliation by the weak regimes, Iran took off and rise up from the ashes of the previous regime as a strong and independent country. And we expected respect, but we didn't get it. We didn't get it. So Imam Khomeini didn't like how Americans looking down on everyone in our region. So you, it's a both side thing. You can see, especially the third part that I'm going to make. You see that Iran multiple times uh, raised the hand for better relationship, multiple times try to mitigate this situation between Iran and United States, and every time it looks like in the psyche of Americans that every time their rival, their uh, enemy, let's just be frank, their enemy, but every time that they try to show some and give some concessions, it looks like they see it as a weakness. They see it as a way to let's hit them a little bit harder. Let's see what will happen. Probably we can take them down and take the whole cake for ourselves. And this was the main problem with United States. Uh, the every time they just wanted the maximum thing. Iranians always went for minimum, and after we got slapped, we went for maximum. But United States, the psyche of an oppressor and someone that been in the front seat for a long time, the attitude will change. And Iranians are proud people. They don't like to be look weak and look humiliated. So I can relate with a lot of decisions that Islamic Republic after the revolution made. There are a lot of things that I do not agree with, but there are a lot of things that I do. Relationship with United States could have gone better, but I believe that every time that Iran tried to uh, bring in United States, they were the ones that pushed us back and only proven that the revolutionaries were right. Revolutionaries always said that you will not get anything from United States. They the only way that we can actually have a good relationship with the United States, a United States that rely on isolation and not intervention, a United States that doesn't support Israel, uh, that would be a neutral United States that we can work with. Other than that, it's an oppressive regime that want to oppress us. That's not gonna work. And I see myself more relating to this way of thinking, because when you take a look at the history, you will see that that's the reality. That's how it is. So the second part, from 1979 to 1988, was done. And I hope I could bring something to the table and give something useful and add something to you guys. So subscribing, liking, all of it will work. And thank you for watching. Thank you very much. God bless you.